Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, kings and queens of the land. Good evening. Good evening to the liberated zones of Africa. Good evening. Good evening to the royals. Um, sorry about that. Good evening to all the liberated zones in the Sahel from the French colonies. Good evening to all the royals. 2026 compliments for the new year. Good evening to everybody. Today, I just want to come quickly. I have been very, very busy. I have been busy with a particular project I'm going to talk about at a later stage. I have been busy. I'll talk about the project at a later stage. Today, I came to talk about why President Zuma. A lot of things have happened, a lot of important stuff that needed us to discuss, but we couldn't have the discussion. But now, um, uh, President Mbeki suddenly has accused President uh, Zuma of being a spy. Thank you very much, Queen Precious Malachi, joining us there. Thank you very much. She's saying Sila, meaning we are here. Those who don't know, Sila, Zulu meaning we are here. Thank you very much for joining. The reason why we want to discuss, we have to discuss this. Um, a lot of things have happened. People, President Zuma have been taken to jail in 2021, has been arrested and taken, kidnapped, abducted, if we may put it like that, to the prison because they said he refused to go to a commission. They said he refused to go to a commission. Recently, we've got Paula Saven, who is refusing to go to the commission, refusing to go to the ad hoc committee, and refusing to go to the commission as well. We've got this lady, the NPA boss, who also refused to go to, who walked out, just like what happened with President Zuma. Uh, President Zuma had reasons. He only requested the judge to step aside. But at the end of the day, the current person couldn't she just does not want to participate, not for because she does not trust the chairperson or anything. No, she's just refusing to participate, and several people have refused to participate. No arrests have been made, no kidnapping or abductions have been made like they did with President Zuma. And I can tell you it will never happen. So why does Thabo Mbeki turn against his brother? President Zuma and President Thabo Mbeki have been friends for a bit of a long time. They have been working together in the ANC, and because they've been working together in the ANC, they established a very close relation when they were in the ANC together. Um, the problem happened when the recently a documented ANC so-called step aside policy was implemented on President Zuma by President Mbeki, who accused him of corruption in the arms deal. Long time ago, I think in 2006. It happened in 2000, in 1996, I think. Oh, not 1996. 1996, it was when Thabo Mbeki became deputy president to President Mandela. I mean, in 2006, the famous firing of President Jacob Zuma, when President Mbeki realized that, or when his people or the white people realized that President Zuma was on his way to become president of the state, the white people panicked, declared panic, the, the spies panic because they all knew about the intentions of President Zuma to take over the ANC. What was the intention of President Zuma? President Zuma wanted to turn the ANC into an organization of the people when he took over the ANC. Besides all of the hindrances that they were put in his way, but he wanted to change the ANC into the organization of the people, since it was already captured by the white system. It was already captured by the white people. So President Mbeki fired President Zuma in 2006, applying the step aside rule before it was even part of the ANC policy. It was applied on President Zuma, where he was removed as the deputy president of the state. But President Mbeki could not remove him as the deputy president of the ANC because at the time Mbeki was losing power, was on his way to lose power. President Zuma was ascending to take over power. So in the ANC, President Zuma was more valued at that time than President Zuma by many people on the ground who saw President Zuma as somebody who is going to really impact the ordinary people. Of course, we all know the famous history between President Mbeki and President Zuma, where President Mbeki was defeated in a contest, hot contest of the ANC presidency in Polokwane in 2007. At the time when President Zuma was fired, he went back to the ground, was given the opportunity to go into the branches of the ANC to campaign because he had no state duties. So President Zuma knew exactly the places to go for him to lobby in order to ascend to the most powerful position in the country. At the end of the day, President Zuma became the president of South Africa, irrespective of the attempt by President Mbeki to stop him. First, he accused him of corruption, of the arms deal corruption, and he removed him as deputy president of the ANC, thinking if he removed him as deputy president of the country, then it will affect him in the ANC the way he's valued, is going to, most comrades are going to see him as somebody corrupt, but it was fuel in the fire when President Mbeki fired President Zuma as such. He did not read the book well. He added fuel to the fire. More people suspected that President Mbeki had ulterior motives. President Mbeki spoke quite a lot against President Ramaphosa towards the elections. Towards the elections in 2000, in 2024, towards the elections, the national elections in 2024, President Mbeki was one of the most vocal against President Ramaphosa and the ANC. He had a U-turn when he started campaigning again. He said he did not want to campaign against the ANC. I did not want to campaign for the ANC because the ANC is led by corrupt people. The ANC is led by corrupt people. That's what he says. So all of a sudden, President Beki started campaigning for Ramaphosa and the same ANC, which he said it was led by criminals, because he was reminded about apparently his wife has got shares in some mines and some banks, has got shares in some mines and some banks. So they told him that actually you are putting us at a disadvantage if you allow the MK party to go and campaign and win against Ramaphosa. You need to go out and assist Ramaphosa to be able to defeat Zuma, because the white people are actually afraid of President Zuma. So they forced him. Everybody knows how it did not even go well, because he was deployed to KZN. A lot of people did not attend or were not interested in his campaign for Ramaphosa, because he has been, in actual fact, if we have to compare President Zuma and President Mbeki, the only thing that I remember that made President Mbeki famous is a speech called "I am an African," which meant nothing at the end of the day. It's actually amazing how white people and white media can actually push a propaganda to make people excited out of nothing. I was part of the people who thought "I am an African" was a very powerful speech, but at the end of the day, it meant nothing. It spoke nothing about um, the oppression that is facing black people in South Africa. It actually said nothing, and it said nothing about the changes. Um, so if we have to compare the two, President Zuma did very, very well than President Mbeki in terms of governance, because he delivered a lot of projects, of course, than President Mbeki. President Mbeki, uh, we actually have to observe who is an apartheid spy. I have never suspected that President Mbeki was an apartheid spy, but I believe that President Mbeki was given shares by the companies, by the mines, and by the banks that President Mbeki has got interest uh, in those businesses, and these businesses are the ones who are currently oppressing and holding black people in ransom. Those are the organizations, businesses that are busy looting their resources, the mines and the banks are the biggest criminals of the world. So that's what they are doing, even in Africa, even in South Africa. That is exactly what is happening at the moment. So because they have given him the interest, remember, this year is 2026. President Zuma and the MK party have done very, very well in the past elections, in the national elections. President Zuma and the MK party are closer to taking the KZN governance. So the white media or the people who own this country, who own the resources, who own all the farms, who owns all the mines, uh, also control all the media platforms in South Africa and also in the rest of the African continent and also across the world. They own and control all media platforms. The reporting about President Zuma has never changed from the hate speech that media has been giving to President Zuma, the videos, and if we have to really accumulate the amount of hate speech that has been uh, altered against President Zuma by journalists and even ordinary people, just ordinary people who are just parrots, who are just repeating what the propaganda machines are saying, the YouTubers who think uh, they've got any sort of analysis of or thinking, uh, uh, but who does not have any capacity to analyze any issue. They repeat exactly what the mainstream media says. They just parroting with the insults. No respect to President Zuma or whatsoever. I'm talking about what is the reason President Zuma is turning against, and President Mbeki has turned against um, President Zuma. These were very close friends at some stage. President Mbeki turned against President Zuma when he realized that President Zuma was going to take over and become the president of the country. What was the reason President Mbeki did not want President Zuma to become president? It was because the white people did not approve of President Zuma to become their state president. They did not approve. So President Mbeki was well aware of that fact that his white people does not approve of President Zuma to become the president of the country. That's why he attempted by all means to stop him. And after failing, today he's accusing President Zuma of being a spy. I don't even want to share his speech. I would glorify his speech by sharing it to it's available on the internet. I'll just give my analysis. Yeah, you can just go and check the speech on the internet if you did not listen to already. So I know a lot of people already have listened to the speech. I'm just giving my analysis, which is important. That is the reason I came here to give my analysis. President Zuma is on his way in 2026 to taking a lot of municipalities. The MK party is on its way to taking a lot of municipalities. One of the people who's got weight, people, the middle class people, still value President Mbeki. They get angry actually if you talk ill or if you talk bad about President Zuma. So the middle class people are still paying attention to President. The poor people cannot pay attention to President Mbeki because they are hungry. They pay attention to President Zuma because he is talking about their hunger. President Mbeki is talking about his hunger. He's talking from his stomach because he's sent to stop this one from again ascending. He failed in the first instance. President Zuma defeated him and ascended to the highest seat. Now the municipalities are on their way out. The municipal elections, the ANC is in chaos. The EFF, a lot of people in South Africa have realized that EFF is a betrayal. The Democratic Alliance, people knows, a lot of people knows, black people, a lot of black people are aware that this is a white party which is going to rule to us like they are ruling during apartheid time. We give them opportunity. A lot of people are aware that white people can never prioritize black people at any instance. The only option that black people are left with is the MK party. And then, in order to stop the MK party, you need to their propaganda machine, their propaganda machines. They've got the machines are running. They've been running since the past 25 years. If I say the past 25 years, I'm talking with reference to President Zuma. President Zuma ended up talking to the Guptas about starting a media company because of the media bashing that is received in South Africa. People on the ground loves President Zuma, not people in KwaZulu Natal. People should understand this. It's not people in KwaZulu Natal alone. People in KwaZulu Natal, they love President Zuma and they respect him, a lot of them. People in South Africa, they love President Zuma. They know what he represents, and they can hear what President Zuma is saying. So now, towards the elections, President Zuma going his way to sweep. Let me read your messages. Thank you for joining. uh, Mishek Mwashe, Mishek Mwashe, Mishek Mwashe, thank you for joining. He says, why Zuma turned against Ramaphosa? I don't know. Maybe you can make a video why Zuma turned against Ramaphosa, because I don't know that Zuma turned against Ramaphosa. I did not know that. There's no reason for me to believe that Zuma turned against Ramaphosa. That's why I'm not making a video about it. I can say Ramaphosa turned against Zuma, not Zuma turned against Ramaphosa. That's my view. And then Queen Precious saying, wait, Mbeki is accusing Zuma of being a spy. That is true. President Mbeki is accusing President Zuma, his friend, of being a spy all along, all of his life. He's been living with President Zuma and he's given President Zuma to South Africans. When President Zuma is now 83 years, President Mbeki says, this is the spy. Is he the only person that he knows that is a spy? Why is he not revealing the others? Why is he only revealing President Zuma, that President Zuma was an apartheid spy, according to him? Who else? Because he said he spoke about 90% of, he says in a particular location, the special branch had 93 agents of apartheid. But those ones, he never mentioned a single one by name. He only mentioned President Zuma. Why? What is the reason he mentioned President Zuma and dirty his name and ensure that he's now trending? The white media is making it to trend. It's a campaign season, like she's saying. It's a campaign season. The campaigns have started. President Zuma does not say anything about President Mbeki. He does not even say anything about the EFF or even about the ANC, except his involvement in the ANC. When he speaks to his audience about what he's going to do when he takes over as government. The other organization, the EFF, Julius Malema is commenting about the MK party, and President Zuma, the Mbalula is talking about President Zuma. Every journalist want to talk about the MK party and President Zuma in a dirty way, in a conniving. The white system have been properly set up among ourselves that we can't even realize, most of the people can't even realize that they are actually working to assist the white people to continue to oppress black people in South Africa. Black people does not own anything in South Africa. The right and the left of any road is owned by the white people. You are only given a space between the farms to travel to your destinations. but the whole area is owned, the whole land is owned by outsiders. It has been conquered and taken. We are squatters in our own land. And those who are supposed to be squatters are the landowners. So people are still, when they were still, when during the time the slave traders, during the time of slaves, they had slave traders. The system still worked the same way. The politician is the slave trader, trading with his brother to the system. South Africa and black people are still under colonialism, are still under apartheid, though they try to give a different narrative that we're out of the British Queen. No, we are very much in the hands of the British Queen. May her soul rest in eternal peace. Queen Elizabeth II. That's the person that is controlling South Africa. That's the person who owns South Africa. Those are the people who owns the media, who owns all the lies, the propaganda that gets created, the platforms. If you see somebody being given platforms to campaign, then it belongs to them. No media gives President Zuma any platform to campaign. ENCA had an interview in the past election. Even today, we haven't seen that interview. If President Zuma was an apartheid spy, would ENCA be so protective against him getting exposure to people? If that was the case, would it really be that de Klerk was actually shaken, was actually excited when Ramaphosa took over? Before he passed on, what he wanted to achieve was to remove Zuma. FW de Klerk, that was his goal. War is raging and war is happening across the world, across South Africa and across the world. It's just that people are not aware. The propaganda, elections have happened. The so-called elections have recently happened in Uganda. 16th of January, there was elections where President Museveni robbed the elections like President Mbeki, President Ramaphosa did in South Africa. President Museveni stole the election. He arrested his main opposition. He declared himself a winner. African Union does not say a word. In Tanzania, the woman declared herself a 93% winner of the election, arresting all the propaganda. More than 3,000 people were eliminated. Tanzanians eliminated made to leave the body earlier than they wanted, made to leave their bodies. African Union has never said anything. That Zim Zim is still a president. That woman there is still a president in Tanzania. Museveni is going to be president, still continuing to be president in Uganda. Uh, there in Rwanda, Paul Kagame is still going to be president. It tells you that there's no election and there's no democracy. It's only dictatorship. So it's dictatorship of the criminals. So this is mudding by President Zuma, President Mbeki. This is mudding President Zuma by President Mbeki for the sake of his stomach. Because here we must say the truth as it is. For the sake of the shares, in my opinion, in the banks and for the sake of the shares in the mining companies, he has to go and mud his brother so that his handlers can allow him to continue earning without him having any business. Those who are given the shares in the mines, those who are made billionaires by the system, the real billionaires you will never know. The fake billionaires, those are the ones that are actually introducing to us as billionaires. If you check the list of people who are rich in South Africa, you don't find the Minen family. You can't find them there. Even Patrice Motsepe is richer than them, according to the lies. When Mandela came out of jail in 1987, he went to stay in a house owned by the Minel family. For years, they did not allow people to visit him except those who were approved by him until 1990 by them. Those who were softening his heart according to them. But President Mbeki turns against President Zuma for the sake of his stomach, like they do, like President Zuma is in politics. Why do I support President Zuma? There won't be anybody coming from heaven to come and save black people in South Africa. It will have to be to happen. If I even had other people saying Trump must come and take Ramaphosa, take him, arrest him, take him to America. First, Trump will never take Ramaphosa because he gets what he wants in South Africa. There's nothing that he doesn't get under Ramaphosa. He gets everything that he wants under Ramaphosa. So Ramaphosa is their man. Don't even imagine that they are going to come. Ramaphosa is the only reason why America has not attacked South Africa so far, because Ramaphosa is their man. So it won't happen, first, because it's their man. Secondly, it's like calling for you call for the devil to come and rescue the Christians. When you call for Trump to come and kidnap Ramaphosa, it's like calling for the devil to come and save the Christians. It does not happen. When the White House comes, or when Trump comes, he does not just come, he comes to take. He's been here, he's been taking. And he does not give anything in return. You just have to allow him to take. He's bullying people around, and of which they think that's eh, what is my opinion about all of this bullying that the Americans are doing, going around kidnapping people? Uh, it's criminals. We've been saying that these criminals, these people who are leading the world, are just common criminals. It's just that they've law protection. They are protected by these criminals are protected by the law. When they say America alone can destroy planet Earth 14 times, the whole world now at the moment, the armies, the bombs or the arms that exist in the planet can destroy planet Earth 700 times. Why do we army ourselves like that? Why do human beings go against themselves? Why do we want to destroy humanity? Why are we so armed against ourselves? When you create the nuclear bomb, can't we take that energy that we are using to create what can kill everybody and create something that can heal everybody? These are devils. My take is there should not be we should not even have police. There was no police in Africa. We should not even have the army. We should not have police. We should not be afraid of anything. We should be peaceful. Everybody should be disarmed. Guns should be taken out of human beings. Both the state and the civilians should not be armed, because the police are armed by the state. They should not have the arms. So nobody should have any arms to do anything. So if nobody has arms, then we can see how many people are going to be killed in a day. Let's create a nation where the police and the army are not going to be relevant. A peaceful nation does not need the police or the army. That is needed by the system that is meant to steal the resources. The reason all of those were established was to make sure that they guard the gains and the resources that they were stealing from people. My name is Mngoni Mkonto. This is the royal opinion. I just came out today to talk about it. Click the like button, subscribe. Let's share this content. The reason I talk about this thing, there are other people who are foolish, and they, or let me say, let me not use the word foolish, who are ignorant, but not out of will. They are ignorant because they haven't reached somebody who can actually explain things in a proper way for them to actually understand which side is which. So the reason I come out to talk is for precisely for such people. There are those who are ignorant, uh, but out of will because they are benefiting out of the system. Those are the ones that I'm not talking to. Those are the ones that will be against what I'm saying. And those are the ones that I don't care about. And there are those ones who are in the middle, who are towards to be taken by the propagandist and towards to be taken by the Pan Africanist. I talk precisely for that group, the group which has got open mind to listen and to learn from others and to have to be able to generate a different understanding from what they had before they could listen to us. So we exist to give a proper analysis. President Zuma should be supported. President Zuma is sober. And all the propaganda which is going on, the reason why there's no stability in the MK party is because President Zuma act. He does not compromise. If he realizes that you are not performing, he remove. If he realizes that you are being planted by some agents, he remove. And he should have a right to do that in the MK party. If the organization has to work, it has to be run by somebody who knows what is happening. A lot of people are just joining, but they don't really know. They only know that they don't have food. They don't know that all the news in their television is a lie. All of the news that they listen to is a lie about whosoever, whether it's about President Zuma or about Mbeki. They only tell half truths. The half truth that they are telling, it's meant for confusion. If we can't control the narrative, then we should just forget about our land. We should forget about our resources. We should just go and dance, let our children become gays, um, let's go and drink alcohol like we're doing. I was reading an article, they say in December, from December 1 to 31 December, South Africans were drinking 400 million rands a day of alcohol, worth of alcohol. That is massive. But I appreciate that we've got such statistics. What we don't have is the drug consumption, the statistics of the drug consumption. I mean, legal drugs consumption in South Africa, the pharmaceutical drug consumption in South Africa. At the same time, when we spend um, 400 million on alcohol, what do we get? Sicknesses, which pushes you to become a drug addict, a zombie. That's why we don't have. That's why most old people these days are no more clever because they are on drugs, gambling. Precious Malachi says drugs, alcohol, and gambling. That's what is. That's where everybody is now. Gambling. Trillions of rands are spent in gambling. Trillions of rands, billions of rands is spent in drugs, legal and illegal. Billions. Nobody is going to take uh, you out of your poverty. Nobody is going to take anybody out of any circumstance which they are supposed to stand up and act. Even if freedom comes, laziness will still not pay. Even if freedom comes, bad habits will still give bad consequences. So those who have some ears to hear, those who are conscious, those who are aware of what is happening. I hope they will be. I would have made. Click if you are here, please click the like button and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Click the like button and subscribe. We hope that someday some other people will uh, turn and realize that there's nothing that will liberate us if we don't rally ourselves, our people, if we don't rally behind a leader who can take us out. And we will argue. Even President Zuma is saying, we can even remove him. We can even do whatever you want to do with him after. You can even take him to jail after you've achieved your success. It does not matter. But having liberated all, he will not even mind to go there. If you found him guilty of anything, Up to today, Mbeki has accused President Zuma of arms deal corruption, which himself has said it never happened. But he's fired his deputy president for something which he said it actually never happened. So we can see who is working for who. We can tell who is working for who. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining the live stream. Click the like button and subscribe and enjoy your day. Share the live stream, share the message to all the people who would like to be conscious about what is happening and would like to have direction. Let's share all these messages. Otherwise, let's just go dancing while white people go on to loot our minerals, go on to uh, loot our waters, and go on to steal our oceans. By so saying, I say good night, enjoy your night.